At the starting of today's episode, we see MaMchunu and his wife talking. His wife keeps taking about church prayer and some random stuff, but MaMchunu seems lost. Then his wife asks him if everything was okay, and he tries to pretend that he's fine and he's listening to her. Then his wife asks where he go in such a rush, and he tells her a lie that he had to go office urgently to meet some agency. Scene changes, where we see Ndumiso and Thoba sitting on their dining table, and Ndumiso looks so happy, and Thoba wants to know the reason. Then Ndumiso tells him he called Shida for a date and she agreed. Hearing this, Thoba tries to make fun of him, but he says he impressed her by his charm. And at the meantime, Thoba's grandma comes and asks about whom he's talking about, and Thoba says, his girlfriend. Then Thoba tries to mock with his father, but his father asks him not to interfere on adults' matter too much and sent him to bring food for his granny. Thoba leaves, and his mum asks her son what's that girl's name and where she lives, and Ndumiso starts to blush, saying, I'll tell you everything. Scene shifts to Nkubeko was besitted with his mother Doreen, and they were upset, and Nkubeko was expressing how his childhood day passed in sufferings because of his mother's absence. Hearing all this, his mother said she wasn't fully at fault. She said she used to send letters from UK, but MaMchunu maybe never gave those letters to Nkubeko. She used to call on MaMchunu's residence, but MaMchunu used to hang up the call saying Nkubeko don't wants to talk to her, or he's out with his brothers. After saying all this, Doreen again apologized to her son, and Nkubeko realized all this life he was living with a misconception about his mother. Scene changes to Ndumiso in restaurant where he's talking with Chida, and he tells her he'll fetch her and derive her to the party. At first Chida refuses, but then she agrees with his offer. Thoba was watching him from behind, and he comes to Ndumiso and they have a conversation about what Ndumiso is going to wear on his party, and then also tries to advise his father what he should wear, but Ndumiso ignores it and says, I'm taking advice about women from someone whom I never seen with girls before. Scene changes again. In this scene, we see Doreen visits MaMchunu and MaMchunu asks her, how dare you come into my house without an invitation? Hearing this, Doreen says, your house, which turned into a hell of my son. Then Doreen asks why MaMchunu tortured her son, and MaMchunu denies the fact, and they get into argument eventually. Then MaMchunu shouts her to get out of her house, and Doreen leaves teasing her. Scene shifts to Ndumiso again. Here we see Ndumiso and Donga having a conversation, and Donga is drunk and he's complaining that his wife not agreeing to have another child, because he must leave a legacy. But Ndumiso tries to make him understand that he's doing unfair to his wife by forcing her and Donga already have a son, but Donga doesn't understand and sticks in Tia's adamancy. Scene changed. Here, Nkubeko and Fakazile are seen talking to each other, sitting beside a pool and having wine. Fakazile asks Nkubeko that he seems a bit lost, and Nkubeko shares about his mother, that she apologized to him, but he can't forget the ignorance and sufferings he had as a child by his stepmother. But Fakazile tries to make him understand it can be his misconception, but Nkubeko says it's not. Scene changed again, where we see Ndumiso, Thoba and MaMchunu sitting on dining table. MaMchunu tells, Granny is ill, she's resting. Ndumiso says, we should be strong in this situation, and MaMchunu seems tensed. Scene shifts, where we see Duanga comes to Nkubeko's place to see him, and they have a conversation. Donga asks, he asked so many people, but wasn't being able to trace Nkubeko, and Nkubeko says, nobody asked you to come and see me, but you came. I'm grateful, sarcastically. Then they talk more, and Nkubeko heads to bring drink for Donga, saying, I now stay alone. Last scene, here MaMchunu is seen crying, lied down on her bed. End.